So, hello everybody, and welcome. First, I want to thank our great friends in Microsoft and not in Microsoft for making this event happen. This venue is really beautiful. Today, we're going to talk about a fundamental challenge in the AI, reaching real-world live data in a multi-agent environment, and pizza, which make it more fun. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Roee Mayerowicz. Roee, just Roee. My background is mostly from cybersecurity, and I jumped from to research, then to browsers, and then to agents, which I think it's quite a journey we're going to trace today. So let's dive in. So Einstein never said that every good meetup needs a good pizza. So if you think about that, I mean, like every meetup has to have a good pizza so people will come. But if you think even deeper into that, finding the best pizza could be a complex data problem. It involves reviews, locations, and constantly changing information. This simple quest of finding the best pizza slice are going to guide us through the different way of get real data from the web. So let's begin with I think the baseline today is just a human with a browser. I think we've all been there at some point. Just opening up Google Maps and try to look for the best pizza around our venue. Not going to waste your time for this demo. But this is kind of the gold standard for accuracy. You open up the Google Maps, you get the context, you see the latest info, you can handle complexity, and it's all just fine. But in real business use, they have some downsides that are quite crushing. It's incredibly slow. If you open up your browser and try to look up your stuff, it needs constant focus. And I don't know how much coffee cups you can drink a day. And people also need sleep. So in real life, you can't really hire an army of people looking over the web every hour and so. So it works, but it doesn't scale. So let's go up for the programmatic traditional way, which is an API. I think it was the standard until maybe 2 or 3 years ago. We kind of solved here the speed and structure. We get the data in beautifully structured JSON, or XML if you are in Microsoft. And it's beautifully scaled. It can go for any scale you want, and it's quite cheap. But if you really think about that, the depth is gone. If you want to ask a question that the API creator didn't let you ask, like, for example, if I want to find the 90 percentile review scores for pizza around me, and this API only gives me the average score, I'm stuck. There's nothing I can do to change that. And also, if I want to expand my business and go to other markets, and it's going to take me weeks or months of re-engineering the whole system. So it's good, but it's not good enough. And then we come to the area of AI. Here, hopefully, I'll make a quick demonstration. Let's open up OpenAI. And I just type in, find the 5 best pizza near Microsoft Lab, which is where we are. And I'm specifically asked him to use Google Maps. And let's also let ChatGPT web search capabilities, which I feel like that's standard right now, and let him search. OK, so we got some results. In quick look, every of these results look like valid. Most of them share the same street name, and I guess they are all real. But if we try to look through the sources just right here, we see that none of these sources are including Google Maps. And more than that, I can't really see it here, but sometimes even the sources are about article that was written like a year ago about what's the best pizza in New York. So even though I asked ChatGPT to use specifically Google Maps and instruct him to use the thing I need to get my data, he didn't listen to me. Let's jump back to our slides. And Okay, so if we look at this, we got incredibly scalable solution. It took, I think, maybe 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. We handle multiple sources. I think we saw there like 20 different sources, and we asked the question in natural language, which is quite nice. And also, we can get data in any structure we want, as an LLM can return us data in JSON, in XML, in whatever you want. But we can't really control the sources. The sources there was kind of black box. Even though I asked ChatGPT to use one source, it chose another. And also, you can't really limit him to use a newer source or older source. You just choose whatever you choose, and you have to handle it, which is not really the best idea if you want to have live data to your program. So let's summarize all this up. We saw the manual work, which was accurate, but quite slow. We got an API, which was great, scalable, fast, but it only has one source. So if you want to use more than this one source, and this source can also be limited, and also, I don't know how many of you saw that not all the internet has an API, so it's going to be more challenging than that. And we saw the AI query, which is basically what all the LLMs are using now. And it can handle 100 snippets or maybe more. It's easily chat interface, but you can't really get reliable data from there. And think of that. If you want to go deeper, if I have only $100 to spend for all the pizzas in this meetup, if I have more than one meetup in New York and I have another meetup in Los Angeles and maybe all across America, I need something that can work in scale and can bring really reliable data, which brings us to the next development there, which is the web agent. I'm going to try to demo here too. And I use the same ChatGPT with the same prompt, just exactly the same, find the 5 best pizza. This time I'm going to ask ChatGPT to use agent mode. And let's let it work. So I don't think we have time to wait. I recorded the video, which took 5 minutes for ChatGPT to find the solution. But on the bright side, ChatGPT really used Google Maps. It just did whatever a real human will do. It opened up Google Maps, it looked for our venue, and now where my stars is, it looked over our venue, it opened up each of the results, it checked each of the results, it gathered up all the information we needed, which was perfectly okay, but quite slow. And of course, this solution is also scalable. It's always up to date. You can actually instruct ChatGPT or other agent what sources do you want to use. It can handle complexity. Like think of multi-step thing where you go to Google Maps, you search for the venue, then you search from the venue. Other restaurants, you can go over menus. You can go over each menu for each restaurant. It can go for multi-agent. But it's slow. And slow means more money. And also scaling is a nightmare. I don't know how many of you try to put up a browser in the cloud. It's quite challenging. And also it gets blocked frequently. If you try to use ChatGPT for Walmart, you can see it's going to get blocked. And as for today, I even saw that sometimes you can get the false information. And also sometimes the data is not unstructured the right way, which means large context window that you need to have in your AI agent, which costs more money. So it's nice. It's working. but it's quite pricey. I think in a real ideal world, we want something more optimized. So far, we saw so many different ways, but I think want to find the optimized way that use the sweet spots of each of these solutions to get real live data from the internet. So what is going to be? This is the web search agent. I can try one more demo, although we don't have much luck of demos here. I'll just show the video. Let's go on the safe side. So as you can see here, I'm using Claude. I'm putting on the Nimble MCP inside Claude. And I'm going to ask Claude the same exact prompt as I just used for ChatGPT. Find us the 5 best pizza near our venue. As you can see, it used Nimble. And it's surprisingly fast. It took maybe a second, 2 seconds. And all this data is actually from Google Maps. Behind the scene, Nimble went to Google Maps through their API and fetched the data and returned the data to the LLM. And the LLM shows us the data in whatever in a structured or non-structured way. So if you think about it, this solution is really the hybrid solution. While we enjoyed both worlds, the world of getting data fast through API and to structure data that comes up fast, and also to web data agent. If Nimble will figure out that we need to use a full browser this time, it will go through a full browser scenario. It's going to look the data, it's going to fetch the data, and going to get you the structured data exactly as you need. And because we use this hybrid solution, this solution is much more affordable than using the full browser each time. Because browser is going to take time, as we saw it took over a minute. And it's going to take also very large context window. And also you need parsers, and which is going to take even larger context window. And we need a controller. And all this together is make this really more efficient than using the full browser. So put this all together on a table. We really got in the web search agent really the best of all worlds, because it can go as cheap as an API or as expensive as full web agent. And this jumping between the API and the full browser is really what makes Nimble or this web search agent unique, because you can benefit from this efficient way to get data from online sources. It's going to be faster than using the full browser. It's going to be more complex and offer you multi-step just as using web agents. And it's going to be cheaper because you use another third party. You can see all the internet. You can optimize your request. So speaking about that, I think every engineer who sits in the crowd thinks right now, why can't I build it myself? So I think it's really, we'll try to set it up like in 3 different things that you need to build your own web search agent. One is the browser, which I also mentioned before. This is quite a nightmare to put it on the cloud. And you got a controller agent, and you got a parser agent. And each of these can make it very, very hard if you want to see and gather more and more sources each time. Because the parser is going to use very large context window. The controller doesn't really have the multi-step solution, and you need somehow to speak to your browser that's going to be efficient and fast, which is also quite challenging. In Nimble, we developed the whole protocol from the ground up in order to make it more efficient that some open source online like Puppeteer or Selenium are using. And the parser itself, since we saw so many websites online, we've been able to cache most of our parsing agents to be just static parser, which make it very, very fast. And also, our parsers are auto-healing. When they see a change on the real-life data, they're able to change themselves, which make it even more efficient than using your own parser or send it all to the LLM each time. And I think the thing you want to get out with this presentation is really what tool you need to choose. And I think there's really 2 different tools that are good at the moment. And it really depends how deep the information, how the steps you need to get your information are looking like. If you need something like instant, like Google search or getting something really, really fast, you don't need really the depth or multi-complex or multi-step question, you can go with, I don't know, ChatGPT or even Google or any AI that's out there. But if you need something more deep, there's something that can crawl for maybe hours, maybe days, something that can monitor the internet and go and set you up with more and more information, you need a web search agent. It runs 24/7, it can be easily scaled, it can get you structured data, and it's cheaper than using a full browser agent each time. And I think the best way to experience new technology is to try it yourself. So we got the QR code for the Nimble cookbook. So you can fork the code, try to write your own agent. And I think it's a really great experiment. Try to think what's the thing you do every day that you do for hours and it's taking you long and long to get all the knowledge you need to make the decision. And try to use an agent and see if the agent can give you the information faster than what you do. You'll be surprised how much manual work you do that agent can replace. And also here is the Nimble MCP, so you can easily integrate it to any LLM you like to use. And that's it. Thank you for having me. I hope I gave you new perspective about how to access live data. And I hope I'll make you see that using third party is sometimes the best answer, as you can't always build from the ground up all the thing you need in order to access data from online sources, as sometimes as a one-man show or you can't really do all the caching and all the challenges that you see online. In Nimble, I think just today I faces fake data, which is, I think, the first time I saw on a real website that just gave us fake data. And you need really, if you think about it, it's really complex data question if the data you see is real or fake. And we saw that some agents got one data and others got other. And you need a whole system behind the scenes in order to decide if the data is valid or non-valid. And also, in cost efficient, you need something that will be fast enough. And the more you see the internet, the more you've been able to build system that's gonna benefit from this knowledge and from the things you see online. So feel free to contact me. I'm gonna be here or also send your question to the panel. And thank you.